just continuing to stack up the days at camp, laying the foundation. Not too much to report, just every day trying to fine-tune details and build relationships and have fun and just make sure that you go home every night or go back to the hotel every night and feel like you improved and they don't have to be big improvements, but just those 1% improvements. I think they add up over the course of the next month. So that's really where my focus is, our focus is, and take any questions you have.
A young player like that you see coming in, that's an asset that maybe is they're going to be frustrated, overwhelmed, all those things.
It's a process. I think first of all you want to let him know that any challenges you feel with the playbook or even outside of football, moving to a new city, we've all been there before. We all deal with them. So don't feel that you're different or that you're inadequate. You're just fine. And he's handled it well. I kind of have always been surprised at how well rookies transition, because whether it was me getting drafted or me coming here in free agency, I felt like it took me a lot longer to learn everything and adapt well to what I observed the other guys being able to do. But I think he's got a lot of ability, and I think he's we've thrown him in basically with all the complex run game rules and motions and formations and the route tree we're asking him to learn, and I think he's handled it really well, and I think he's shown his athleticism and his ability as a receiver. He's a natural catcher of the football. He tracks the ball well. So I'm excited about just continuing to do more with him and get him involved, and hopefully that can take pressure off of our other guys and just make teams have to defend even more grass.
What young receivers or rookie receivers have to do to sort of earn your trust, or for you to basically play with them the same as you would any other guy?
More than anything, and this may be debatable with other evaluators, but I want to see greatness at the catch point. In this league, you're going to make so many contested catches. Coverage is going to be tight. I'm going to have to throw it in tight windows, and you got to show me that with somebody draped over you or someone about to come hit you, that you will have strong hands and make the catch. That's what Justin does well. That's what Adam does well. That's what KJ does well. TJ. It's not for the faint of heart, and you got to have strong hands. And I think you can have all the athleticism in the world, but with how good the guys are covering you, if you're not really strong at the catch point, it's going to be hard to consistently be successful. So that's what I see from Jordan, is he's pretty natural at the catch point, which is exciting. And when we're not in full go tackle, it's harder to evaluate that, and that's where you got to get into preseason games and the real season to be able to know what you have.
Tell the amount of work he's already put in since the draft to learn the playbook?
Yeah, well, he was here all summer, recovering from his injury, and I think he was able to get a lot done, and I think Keenan's done a great job continuing to push him, and I think he takes pride himself as a player to make sure when he goes out here for walkthroughs and practice that he hears it the first time and knows what to do. And we're all going to have those occasional mistakes. I had a big one yesterday in the 2-minute, but you just got to believe that you're going to continually get it to where it's more and more natural. So we just need him in the huddle, hearing plays, getting lined up, and keep stacking up those opportunities.
Is there anything measurable you can point to that shows how much smoother it is having a play caller back-to-back years versus learning a new offense?
Yeah, I don't have to grind quite as much pre-practice to make sure I can call the plays. I can be focused on other things. I can be thinking about the play clock, thinking about the defensive personnel, thinking about our offensive personnel, the situation while he's calling the play, and kind of multi-process while I'm hearing the play. It used to be shut out the whole world. Okay, let me hear this play to make sure I can call it in the huddle. So I think the ability to kind of handle more and take in more information while you're processing the system is a big help.
How much information has there been to take in with this new look defense?
The defense, and great shirt by the way, Craig, but the defense has really been the curveball of camp for me. As I said in late July when we got here, mid-July, second year in the system. I've obviously been through NFL training camps. A lot of this is repeat as opposed to first time, but going against Coach Flores' defense is a first time deal. So how are we going to handle these pressures? How are we going to handle these fronts? How are we protecting them? I've been wearing out my quarterback coach in meetings, asking questions. Now, how do you want to block that? How do you want to block this? And probably to a fault, where I'm trying to win in practice, and they got to remind me, hey, we don't play Flores' defense this season. It's okay to have the occasional mix-up because we're trying to get ready for week 1, not for August. So that's always a balance you're trying to find. Is I want to win practice, but I want to win during the season, and sometimes it's hard to have both.
Is the biggest challenge of that the aggression or the deception or the unpredictability or what?
Yeah, I think it's the timing. They're trying to throw off the timing with our receivers as much as they can. They're trying to pressure from a variety of looks that you might not see as often against other coordinator schemes. And then the disguise, I think they do a good job of showing you one thing, and then after the snap, it's something else, and getting an understanding of how they're disguising and how they're getting to it. I'll probably have a PhD in that by the end of August, but then we don't play that defense for most or all of the season. So, you're trying to get the general principles that you can then apply to the real thing when we play the 17 games.
When you play a defense like that, how does that help you transfer to other schemes, given the fact you won't see this one very much, like you said?
I think some of the general protection rules will apply. I think the final coverage shell in certain plays will apply. How they get to those shells will probably differ. So I think if anything, you're going to probably feel more comfortable with pressure looks, knowing that you've dealt with them quite a bit in camp and they could come at any moment. I think our run game checks, I think we're getting stretched there with how we want to check out of bad runs and into good ones. We're going to have a little bit more to think through at the line of scrimmage with that than we might with any other defense, which is good because it's better to be stretched than to have it be easy and then you get to week 1 and say, I haven't seen this before. But no matter how much you see right now in August, there's no doubt every week there's going to be some things where you say, okay, we got to learn this week, and we got to dial it in, lock it in, and then on Monday after the game, remove it and start the next week. And there's a little bit of that compartmentalization that happens each week in the NFL that I think really helps, because then you can kind of shrink what you're concerned about and zoom your focus week to week. And right now our focus has to be a little wide with putting in the whole offense.
His quarterback, he expects to set the tempo for practice.
Yeah.
That's a big part of leadership, is how the quarterback practices. Do you look at it that way every time you come out here?
I do. I try to come out here with energy, cracking jokes, maybe to a fault. Sometimes I'll tell Nick Mullins, like, hey, if I'm being too much of a goofball, you just let me know. But I'm going to keep cracking jokes and having a good time with it. It's training camp. So for me, I need something every few days to change up the script just to have fun with it. So I went out yesterday in number 66. So, you're always looking for things just to have fun and enjoy the game and bring energy. And I think teammates feed off that. No, and I had not looked at myself in the mirror until post-practice, and I saw myself on film, and I thought that was more egregious than I even realized. I knew it felt big. I knew it was 66, but it was big, and it was an ugly number. So that'd probably be the first and last time.
Your transcript from the press conference on the eve of camp, and you used peace of mind 2 or 3 times.
Yep.
Is that fair to say where you're at right now in your career?
You can check in with me after I get hit the first time and after the first close loss, but certainly you want to try to find a quiet mind and be at peace and feel confident. I think when you're at peace and you have a quiet mind, it's coming from a place of you're confident in your abilities, you're confident in the plan, you're confident in that you can execute it when you get thrown a curveball. And, I don't know that you ever feel like, okay, I'm there. You're always feeling like you need to get better in that area. But I would like to think that the longer you're with a system, the longer you're in a city, the longer you're with teammates, the longer you are playing in this league, your command, your confidence, that's all going to grow every year.
You to see the deal with Daniil get done?
Well, I just, it's great to, secure one of our better players on our team. Pass rushing is such a big deal in this league, and we have a really good one in Daniil, and to kind of get him to a place where we know he's going to be here and he can help our team this season, I think that's a big step towards the goals we want to achieve this fall.
What are your impressions of Jaron Hall thus far?
Jaron's done a great job. He's a great mind in the room. He's a great athlete on the field. I think he has a good feel for the position, and he's another player that, we're throwing a lot at him, and there's a lot to learn, and I think he's handled it really well.
Success in the past
pass with two tight ends on the field at the same time. I guess what does Josh Oliver kind of bring to this offense?
Yeah, Josh, I think he helps us a lot with run game. He helps us a lot with pass protection. He helps us a lot down the field with his speed catching the football. He's a big target. So I think it gives us versatility in what we can call and the threat we can be to a defense with him on the field. And, and then I think really creating variety around that with CJ and TJ and KJ, who we have on the field alongside Josh will also be interesting to see from play to play. Because we feel really good about all those personnel groupings, but I think Josh really strengthens every one of those. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.